Okay, chapter 2 of the Untethered Soul. It's called Your Inner Roommate. So chapter 1, he introduces the concept that there's a voice inside of our head. He also calls it the psyche. It's the part of us that's always thinking, narrating, labeling things good or bad, judging. And so here he goes even one step further to call it your inner roommate. So what he says is that if you would like to meet your roommate, this is on page 17, if you'd like to meet your roommate, just try and sit inside yourself for a while in complete solitude and silence. Instead of finding peace, you're going to listen to incessant chatter. Why am I doing this? I have more important things to do. This is a waste of time. There's nobody in here but me. What's this all about? So that chatter that comes up when we try to maybe sit for meditation or when we're trying to go to bed at night, that's what he's labeling our inner roommate. And he tasks us with kind of personifying that inner roommate and pretending that it's something, that it is an actual roommate. And how would we feel if somebody were constantly kind of attacking us with that inner dialogue that we attack ourselves with in our head? The example that he gives is like you just sit down at the end of the day to relax and the mind starts in. So he's now saying, pretend that this is a roommate. So your mind is starting, but pretend it's a roommate outside of yourself saying these things to you. Did you turn off the light downstairs? You better go check. Not now, I'll do it later. I want to finish watching the show. No, do it now. That's why the electric bill is so high. So that's the example. So imagine living with somebody outside of yourself that's constantly telling you, you should do this, you shouldn't do this. Is this person mad at you? Shouldn't you be worried about this? This is happening tomorrow. Aren't you nervous? So if we can take that voice and imagine that it's somebody else outside of ourselves doing it, we see what an extremely toxic situation this could possibly be for us. He talks about how fickle the mind is and how it can give us really poor advice. And I think about how often I've been fearful about something that never happened, and my mind was really, in my mind, I was sure something terrible was going to happen. It never did. So in that way, he's talking about this is why it's so important to create that separation between our true self and the mind. This is why it's so important in order to really hit the point home, he talks about imagining it as if it was a real roommate telling you these constantly disturbing or at best irrelevant information. So he says that if we can get rid of that part for even a moment, the peace and serenity would be the nicest vacation you've ever had. So again, that's like really, I think, a great point of this book and books like it, to just give us a break from that mind, to create that separation. Okay, the solution to that, so once you realize that you have this inner roommate, this voice inside your head, what is the solution? What do you do about it? And on page 16, he says, once you clearly see the disturbed part, then you can ask, who is it that sees this? Who notices this inner disturbance? Asking this is the solution to your every problem. The fact that you can see the disturbance means that you are not it. So he says the act of maintaining object awareness of this inner problem is always better than losing yourself in the outer situation. To attain true inner freedom, you must be able to objectively watch your problem instead of being lost in them, because no solution can possibly exist while you're lost in the energy of the problem. And then I'll leave you with this very end of the chapter, the very last paragraph. He said, if you want to free yourself, you must first become conscious enough to understand your predicament. Then you must commit yourself to the inner work of freedom. You do this as though your life depends on it, because it does. As of right now, your life is not your own. It belongs to your inner roommate, your psyche. You have to take it back. Stand firm in the seat of the witness and release the hold that the habitual mind has on you. This is your life. Reclaim it. So that is my summary of chapter 2, Untethered Soul by Michael Singer.